Training camp for the New Orleans Saints began today on Wednesday, a sign that football is back not only for the Saints but just around the NFL in general, and I'm excited for the NFL season to start up. We already had a pretty busy day yesterday within the NFL world for the Saints, new jerseys, players retiring, and signing safety Julian Blackmon. But today marks the first Saints training camp in this new era of Saints football under head coach Kellen Moore. On day one, Spencer Rattler went perfect on the day in his second NFL training camp. Rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck looked a little rough as the quarterback battle is officially beginning now with training camp officially here. And we're here to break it all down. I'm Cash, and you should take 5 seconds to like the video and subscribe to help support the channel. We're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We just hit 12.1 thousand subscribers. Shout out to you guys. But I need your help to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And in return, you're going to get Saints and NFL daily content like this almost every day. It benefits you because you get content, and it benefits me because you help me grow. It's a win-win situation. With all of that out of the way, let's dive into the first day of Saints training camp. So of course we have to start off by talking about the quarterback battle. This is just how these videos are going to start because newsflash, there's a starting quarterback competition going on and everybody wants to know how the rookie quarterback is doing or how Spencer Rattler is doing and who's going to end up being the starting quarterback for the Saints in 2025. So let's just start off by talking about the rotation. Quarterback Spencer Rattler was with the first team offense today, second round pick, and rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck was with the second team offense today, and Jake Kanner was with the third team offense. Now, I would not read too much into this as Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck during OTAs rotated for the starting position and with the first team offense and such in minicamp, and that is going to be the case for training camp as well. And Nick Underhill says that Tyler Shuck will take first team reps tomorrow after meeting with Kellen Moore. So they're going to be rotating these quarterbacks, it seems, every day like they did during minicamp and OTAs. Now, as to why Spencer Rattler got first team reps to start off training camp, Kellen Moore gave his reasoning, and it was because Spencer Rattler has been with the team just a little bit longer, a year longer than Tyler Shuck. Here's the full explanation right here. Kellen Moore said Spencer Rattler went first in the QB rotation on day one of training camp, essentially because he's been here a year longer than Tyler Shuck, and that their numbers were basically identical in the analytics and the numbers and stats during OTAs and minicamp. So it was really just the experience that led Tyler Shuck to being the backup and Spencer Rattler to being the lead on day one. So there's some context to the quarterback battle, but on the field though, Spencer Rattler looked sharp and definitely had the better day as he was perfect on day one of training camp. Spencer Rattler went 9 of 9 completing all of his passes. He was decisive, had good timing overall, and looked like a guy with NFL experience, and things just seemed to have slowed down for him and he was making a lot of good reads. In Ross Jackson's article, he details some of the throws and connections that Spencer Rattler had. Like he had a really good completed pass to Chris Olave over the middle, and it was a big play. And that Spencer Rattler had a completion to wide receiver Mason Tipton with Kool-Aid McKinstry in coverage on the right side. And the pass was well anticipated and placed at the sideline, and it was one of the better throws of the day. So that sounds real promising from Spencer Rattler. I'm not going to go over everything. If you want to go check out all the details, I'll put a link to this article in the description. Lots of good stuff in here, but it sounds like Spencer Rattler had a really good day, good timing, and really, I mean, he went perfect on the day. So there really isn't a whole lot that he could have done a lot better in terms of completing passes because, well, the ball didn't touch the ground when he threw the football. That connection to Chris Olave, there's footage of it on the screen right now. You could say it looks a little high. Some people said from their angle it was layered like over a linebacker and between a safety. So you could say it's a high pass throwing Olave into traffic. Some people said it was a good throw. I'm kind of in the middle. It looked like a good throw, but could he have put it a little bit lower? Possibly, but overall, a really good day from Spencer Rattler, who went perfect. Some other things that was really intriguing from the quarterbacks that we saw under head coach Kellen Moore was the designated quarterback runs. We saw them do like QB powers and quarterback runs similar to what Jalen Hurts did in Philadelphia, which is interesting, but also kind of to be expected given that Kellen Moore just had Jalen Hurts do all that stuff in Philadelphia. So they're implementing that, trying to get the quarterbacks moving. We saw Spencer Rattler do some of the runs and stuff. So that's really interesting to see them implement that into the offense. Now, as for Tyler Shuck, it sounds like he had a pretty rough day out there in his first NFL training camp. It appears that Tyler Shuck looked like a rookie out there, seeing 11-on-11 action in the NFL for the first time, which, I mean, is the case. He hasn't seen 11-on-11 action in the NFL. They didn't do that during OTAs or mandatory minicamp. So this was his first exposure to that. But at least he did not have a Jackson Dart moment throwing a pick six on his first throw. From what was said, it sounds like Tyler Shuck just had a hard time processing, wasn't up to NFL speed, was off rhythm, the timing with the receivers was off, and it just wasn't clicking as fast as it should have. He was rolling out and he likely would have been sacked, holding onto the ball for too long, things like that. But that's stuff that can be cleaned up. It's not like that can't be cleaned up. And also, I mean, you got to remember, it's day one of training camp for him ever. And if you go back to the first OTA practice, it was pretty similar compared to Spencer Rattler, not getting the ball out as quickly, off timing, a little off rhythm, but then come back to the second OTA practice and he looks a lot better. So this is probably to be expected, and by no means am I saying that this is going to represent what he's doing for the rest of the season. I just think it was a slow day for him, and maybe when he gets in with the first team offense tomorrow, he'll look a lot better because he's throwing to the starters and not some backups. So we'll have to see about that. But I think Tyler Shuck will likely pick up the pace sooner rather than later and get caught up. Now, Tyler Shuck did have some nice throws, like a wheel route to Marcus Yarns, who ended up dropping it after linebacker Nephi Sewell knocked it out. Ross Jackson also mentioned that he had a nice pass to Donovan Peoples-Jones, but it ended up being incomplete as well. So based on everything that's been reported and said, it sounds like Spencer Rattler won day one of training camp, and he won today because he was the better quarterback, looked better, and the ball didn't touch the ground. It's that simple. Spencer Rattler had himself the day. But again, I would also like to mention, it is only day one. Don't want to overreact, but we're going to overreact because this is all the information we have. Yes, it's training camp, but they also aren't in full pads yet. They're in shells, but they aren't in full pads or full contact yet. So let's try to calm down a little bit, and I'm talking to myself too. We have to bring it down a little bit. When it comes to making a decision, though, on the starting quarterback, Kellen Moore on Tuesday had this to say when it comes to the timing of making that decision. He said there's obviously a benefit to making the quarterback decision early, like preseason game week 1 or something like that, but they're not going to force it and they're not going to hurry it. They're going to let the winner, they're going to let it play out and let the winner be the winner, and the decision will come when it comes, and it'll just be a natural kind of thing, and they're not going to force anything. And I love that answer from Kellen Moore. General Manager Mickey Loomis on Tuesday also mentioned and made it very clear that it's not just Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler who's in this competition, but also third-year quarterback Jake Haener. Mickey Loomis said that he believes that the most important thing here is not speed, it's accuracy, meaning they'll take time to develop the candidates and not rush into choosing a starter, which aligns with what Kellen Moore had to say, and I like the thinking behind this. But he also stressed that there are 3 candidates, not 2, Shuck, Rattler, and Jake Haener. Haener did have some nice moments on Wednesday during training camp, finding Michael Jacobson for a nice few good plays. But let's be real, we've all seen Jake Haener play, and he's not going to be winning the job. That's it for the quarterback stuff. It was a shorter practice. It was only like an hour and 10 minutes. And from the sounds of it, it's just more of a low-key chill day than anything. But Alvin Kamara and Demario Davis both said Kellen Moore is optimizing their team's time to the maximum. No wasted time at all, and they're getting a lot of work done in these short periods of time. Now, one of the more interesting talking points around the team right now is the safety position because, well, Tyrann Mathieu just yesterday retired, leaving a starting spot on the defense open opposite of newly signed safety Justin Reid. With Tyrann Mathieu retired, who's going to step into his role? We know the Saints signed, or at least are planning to sign, Julian Blackmon to the roster. It was announced yesterday from Ian Rappaport. They did draft safety Jonas Sankert in the 3rd round, but outside of that, who do they have else to compete at the safety position to fill in where Tyrann Mathieu played at that free safety spot? And I don't necessarily think Jonas Sankert fills that role. On Wednesday, though, it was Jordan Howden who's filling in Tyrann Mathieu's old position rather than Jonas Sankert or anyone else. Julian Blackmon still technically isn't officially on the team yet, so maybe this changes once he is signed, but Jordan Howden was filling in for the spot, playing opposite of Justin Reid at the safety position on the first team defense, which is something I find pretty interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see that. This coaching staff seems to be pretty high on Jordan Howden, so we'll have to see how this story develops. Now, this also could be a case where he has more experience and he's been on the team longer than some of the other guys, similar to Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck, which is why he's starting right now. But I honestly think this is just something worth noting and keeping an eye on. Him and Julian Blackmon probably compete for that exact role during training camp. And as for the strong safety role, Sankert probably gets some reps in the box and such, while Justin Reid is the primary guy. Some other notes from training camp is that Kellen Moore said that they're going to be rotating running backs for the running back 2 battle behind Alvin Kamara. But on Wednesday, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Devin Neal, the rookie 6th-round pick, were getting reps with the first-team offense behind Alvin Kamara. Linebacker DeMarco Jackson forced a fumble on Cam Akers, which simply can't happen, especially in a running back battle. Cam Akers is a vet. They're not in full pads yet, and it was not even during team drills that he got fumbled. So yeah, Cam Akers, not a good look. His stock is definitely down. DeMarco Jackson popped it out, and Christian Boyd, the defensive tackle, recovered the fumble. Saints kicker Blake Grupe went 5 of 5 on the day, and only 2 guys were not participating or practicing, and that is Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau, who are on the PUP list, meaning physically unable to perform, which is to be expected. But while they weren't participating, they were spotted and still out there and part of the team and engaged. So that's important to note. And I believe that is everything. That does it for day 1 of Saints training camp. Pretty low-key day, not a whole lot going on, but it's going to pick up over the next few days. Shout out to all the reporters and all of them for doing their jobs, tweeting it out, and helping us fans know more about the team and what's going on. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Let me know your biggest takeaway from day 1 of Saints training camp down in the comments below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel to help us reach 15,000 subscribers. I'm Cash, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.